All right, y'all, here we go. This is going to be the first quarter of our offense versus Oklahoma. This one's going to be a little bit longer because there's a lot of things that I do want to get into because I know some of y'all are probably sick and tired of these OU fans on social media saying that their defense is better than ours and that the defense is SEC ready. I think that their defense is overhyped. I'm going to prove to you why it is overhyped. We're really going to be focusing a lot on the scheme for OU versus what Coach Heupel showed in this game. It's like obviously, I'm sure that he saw that there were several openings in Oklahoma's defense and he just decided not to put that stuff on film. He's got to stop doing that. I think that this is going to be, a teaching point for him. Hopefully, he will start to open things back up. And once he opens it up and he stops, keeping everything so close to the vest, I promise you that this team will start to dominate a lot more on offense. And also, it's going to help us to be even more dominant moving forward because you make the opposing team's defenses have to game plan for all the stuff that we can do, and it keeps them a lot more honest. Either way, on this first play, we're going to have a run pass option. We'll get to that here in just a minute. But first, let's talk about what Oklahoma is going to be doing on defense. It's exactly what Georgia has done to us over the past few seasons. They're going to have 3 down linemen up front, and this nose tackle is going to be lined up right on top of Cooper Mays. Then they're going to have 2 linebackers back here. Right now, they've got Stutzman right here, and then they've got number 10, who's going to be like a quicker, faster linebacker. I think that's a good way to try to mimic what Georgia did. You need some speed at backer if you want to try to beat what Tennessee does on offense. Now, the kicker here is that they've got 3 safeties. And what you'll see is the one right here in the middle. He's always, if he sees any sort of a run, look, or, anything at all, he is coming up. His first steps are forward. But what we'll see is as we get further into this, they're all going to be coming up as soon as they see a certain type of run action. And it's typically off of the gap scheme whenever we've got guys pulling around, things like that. So back to what we're going to be doing on offense. All right. This is a run pass option, and it's going to be zone blocking up front, which, I think that zone blocking does a great job versus these types of fronts, these types of looks, just because it is a man on a man. So the run option of this is going to be DeSamp coming up right here. And I think that he probably would have had some room to work right there if Nico would have handed it off, but the pass option will just be this quick screen to Chris Brazo, and then we've got Squirrel White out here as a lead blocker. But we'll go ahead and let this thing roll so that y'all can see what happens. All right, so boom. First and foremost, you see that, we've got this blocked, right? And then plus we've got the tight end right here as an insert guy. This is 11 personnel. Boom. Okay, so if we would have handed this off, DeSamp has room, okay, because this linebacker is biting inside. He's not going to be able to stick with DeSamp if he tries to, bounce it out. So that would have got a lot of yardage. But Nico decides to throw it right here. I think that Squirrel's got to do a much better job in just blocking his guy. That would have given us a few yards, but since he doesn't, there's just nowhere for Chris Brazo to run. So we will let this thing go back. Y'all can see how all the motion looks. They've got a lot of people playing back. And I can understand why Nico did throw this because, yeah, it looks like there is some room. He should have been able to get maybe a little bit of yardage. But again, it just goes back to Squirrel not picking up his guy. So that's how the first play went for us versus Oklahoma. Second and 10, we've got trips to the boundary, and I believe we'll have one person down here. He's really, really wide. So on this play, what Oklahoma's going to do, you can see up front pretty much the exact same look, but they're going to bring this guy right here off of the edge. So ultimately, they will end up bringing 4. Pay attention to our offensive line. Now, keep in mind, Lance Hurd, our starting left tackle, is not in. We have Dane Davis right here, but pay attention to this line. Every single body up here is going to hold on to their people very, very easily. Okay, there will not be any movement up front. Now, what's going to happen is DeSamp doesn't do a good job on this guy that's coming off of the edge. They're going to have Stutzman right here as a spy, which, that was a mistake from Jump Street. So we'll go ahead and let this thing roll so y'all can see what happens. All right, so boom, right here, look at that. It's all picked up, okay? Like we've got the time. And here it looks like we're actually, and you know what? I believe that I had called for this. Looks like we're trying to do like a little fake screen and go, but they've got people over the top. They're dropping a lot of people back into coverage. And, at this point, Nico feels it. Okay, he feels that pressure coming. For all y'all talking about he doesn't have good pocket presence, look at this, right? Just look at this man go to work. He spins out of that. Let me get rid of this right here. He still has his eyes down the field. Now, look, he's got 2 people that almost have an angle on him. But watch what he does to him. Bloop. Bloop. Both of them fall down. That's their fault for having terrible turf, but they probably wouldn't have made the tackle anyway. So he makes 3 people miss on that, does a great job of getting down. We'll let the whole thing run over again so that you can see what's going on. But you understand what's going on here, right? I mean, they've got a lot of people playing in coverage, so I think that they did a good job based off of their scheme to try to stop what Tennessee has shown on film. That's why Coach Heupel has got to start putting everything on film. Do what it takes to have productive plays and stop playing around with these folks. He's got to start doing that. I want to see him grow like that as a coach. I'm hoping next weekend he will show some more versus Arkansas because I mean we should have blown Oklahoma out and we should be able to blow Arkansas out as well. 3rd and 2 on this play, and we are going to run the football right up the middle. So what I want for y'all again to pay attention to is the offensive line and everyone else who is blocking. Whoever is, getting their hands on somebody, notice how Tennessee is winning that battle. It's not that we ever got beat. I mean, maybe once or twice it might have happened throughout the entire course of this game, but I would say probably like 98% of the time, whenever we're actually getting our hands on their guys, we are dominating them. So what Oklahoma's going to do on defense is these guys are going to slant that way, okay, and then they're going to bring the pressure off of the edge just to kind of fill in all those gaps. Of course, they still have Stutzman here. They've still got this safety or nickel player, whatever, just kind of also playing inside of the box. So watch this play right here. This is going to be zone blocking, and you see that, right? So everyone has, everyone that's on somebody is winning. But what happens is, boom, okay, so you can see at this point, all of our guys are winning. We're getting up to the second level. Okay, Stutzman's going to get neutralized. I think he's overrated as well. But they've got guys that are unaccounted for coming in. And that's going to be part of the problem. We've also still got a tight end that hasn't even engaged with anyone yet. Maybe he could have come on over here and picked that up. But really, D Sap is going to, like slip. Okay, he's going to try to make a cut and then he's going to slip. So boom, right? He tries to, and really, I could say that maybe Dane Davis, he could have done a better job of just holding his guy, pushing him out. So he doesn't do a very good job. It looks like, yeah. So it's his guy that kind of gets a little bit of a push to the inside here. But everyone else, I think, is doing a really nice job of holding on to their guys. But you see right here, D Sam tries to put his foot into the dirt. Not a whole lot of room for him to run, but he could have got through this if it was better footing. And he, slips, and that's why that play ended up being short. But you see, I mean, even Stutzman, I mean, he ends up pancaking their, little fast linebacker like it ain't nothing. Look at that. Takes him all the way to the ground. I mean, I'm sorry, not Stutzman, but Kitzelman. And now Stutzman, you see he's getting pushed around to him. Now, all their guys, like they're all getting pushed around outside of Dane Davis's guys. So that's just to let y'all know. And that's just one of the many plays that we will see today, just to let you know actually how dominant Tennessee's front really was. It was just a few things that that OU did with from a scheme perspective that helped them out to be able to make some of these stops. All right, next series. This is 12 personnel. We've got 2 tight ends right here, and y'all will see exactly what I'm talking about. Pretty much the exact same look inside of the box from OU. But watch all of these linebackers on this play. So actually, what it's going to be is a run play, and it's going to be some pulling, right? I believe this guy might pull. We're going to have a few guys kind of pull around, and then Kitzelman's going to kind of stay backside. But as soon as they see that action, these safeties are all coming up. So we'll let this thing run through first. And again, pay attention to, I mean, look at all the bodies from OU that's falling, right? Watch again, whenever our guys get their hands on their guys, we are winning. Okay, we're not just winning, we're dominating. I mean, look at how much of a push it is off of the ball. This guy's going to go down. This guy's going to go down. Right here, I think Holden Stays is going to get a hold of number 10. He's going to go down. I mean, we are just destroying them. So how do they make these plays? Well, look at who's making it. It's these safeties coming way up from the 3rd level to make this play because it takes so long for it to get going, right? Just based off of our scheme of pulling stuff around. You got to, or it's not him, but you got to let things get set up. You know what I'm saying? With plays like this. So their safeties and, their secondary pieces have the time to come up. So we'll see it one more time. And, I want for y'all to understand exactly why these plays are being made. It's just guys that we can't get to. And really, even Dane Davis, I mean, he kind of whiffs on a guy. Actually, he kind of whiffed on 2. So right here, this is one of their linebackers that I think that, Dane could have done a better job of getting to, but also pretty good job of, by him on OU's defense of just kind of hiding himself in here and waiting to come up. But we do still have a guy that comes up and just kind of chips him and gets him on up out the way. Which is great. But okay, so this is what we can do versus things like this moving forward. And I know for sure that our entire offensive staff saw this. They had to have seen this because this is glaring. Whenever you've got all these guys coming up this hard, all you have to do is just fake the run right here. Boom. Look, they're all the way up here. Guess what? We've got 10 guys on our team that can beat them in one-on-one coverage. That can beat anybody in their secondary in one-on-one coverage on the outside. We've got plenty of people in here to get this blocked and to hold it up, because what these guys will do once they see, oh my gosh, it's not a run, it's a pass, they're going to try to get back. At that point, we're already past them. That is 6 points. Like every single time, you just throw it up real soft, throw it up real deep, real soft. That is going to be 6 points all day long. So things like that, I feel like we definitely could have done, and we just did not do it for whatever reason. I think we might have done it once with Dante Thornton, but outside of that, y'all, I mean, we just kind of stuck to doing this stuff, and we're fine. Okay, we'll just get 2, 3 yards all the way down the field. We ain't gonna show nobody nothing. We got to stop doing that. So that's how that play went. Let's go on to the next one. All right, 2nd and 8. We're going to have an orbit motion coming on over here, and he's actually going to sneak on up the sidelines. We're also going to have this tight end working on over right there. D Samp on a fake handoff. He's going to kind of sit right here behind it. So we've got a guy there. We've also got a guy here. And then this tight end is going to come on up the field just to kind of like occupy everything. So all we're doing here, y'all, is overloading this area. We are flooding this zone. And this guy's going to be left unblocked. That is by design, but we also, everyone else that is blocking, not that tight end, but everyone up front that is blocking, they do a good job of holding up with their guys. Okay, so boom, you see they're blocking, right? So you see this pressure, you automatically probably think offensive line, but this player was unaccounted for intentionally. Okay, he was not supposed to be blocked on this. This is a dangerous play, right? Like we're kind of like putting Nico into harm's way, but it's a way to try to slow down all of the pressure coming off of the edges. That was the intent, but it isn't run very well. I think that OU's defense, they're doing a good job of flying to the football. I think that they play good, disciplined football. They had a good game plan, all that type of stuff. But whenever you look at each individual players, I mean, I'm not going to say that they're world beaters by any means. So we do get this pass off, which is great. Okay, this is also a really good tackle by number 3, their safety. He had a really good day. I think he had 13 tackles. But that, very very short gain on 2nd down. 3rd and 6. Now we're going to have Squirrel White motion into the backfield. And what's going to happen here is we're going to try to set up like a little bubble screen to him. We're going to have D Samp as a lead blocker. A lot of the guys up front are just going to be cutting on our offensive line. In this play, I mean, this is just an example of Heupel trying to get a little bit too cute right here. I don't like this play call. I don't like the way that he called this game early on. So you see John Campbell is trying to cut right here. You see all these other guys, they're cutting. We don't look great doing that right here, but I think that it was enough from the offensive line for Squirrel to get this ball. That was a really good pass. He's up the field, but D Samp slips and he misses his block. If D Samp gets this block, actually, y'all, I mean, as quiet as this is kept, this is actually there, right? I mean, this is actually there because we're doing a good job down the field everywhere else, but we just slipped because their field was horrible. But that is why Squirrel takes a kill shot right there from their little linebacker, number 10, so we just got to be careful with stuff like this. Again, if it's on normal footing, then the play would have definitely looked a lot better than it ultimately ended up. But yeah, that's how that job right there ends. All right, 1st down on the next series, and we are going to run some more gap scheme. We're pulling around, and again, like I keep on trying to tell y'all, man, the offensive line is doing a great job of blocking. This is going to be a run right here to Deshaun Bishop, who's going to slip as he's trying to get up the field. Of course, the safety right here in the middle is playing run first. They've got guys playing way off. So yeah, the quick screen could still be there, but you just have to be able to catch them in different things based off of, the down and distance and your tendencies and how you line up, all that type of stuff. You should know what they're going to do, especially as we get deeper into this game. But we're going to let this thing roll because I want for y'all to see what we're doing up front, right? I mean, look at this. It's blocked, right? I mean, like they're not beating us anywhere. They are not beating us. So let it keep on going. And you see, right? He slips up. And then also you see another guy that's coming in. He's coming way from the outside. So that's something else that maybe we could put into our scheme where, you know what, man, have the guys on the outside actually block, because sometimes our wide receivers will just kind of stand there. They'll just take a step and just stand and just look. I never really like that in any scheme. I'm not trying to be hard on our scheme. It just kind of is what it is. I just wish that we could kind of get those guys to block, especially versus looks like this. You need to take care of that because that can be the difference in some of these plays breaking. But again, you see the D Samp. I mean, look, you can already tell his foot right here is slipping. The field is just awful. So that's why that play was stopped short. Does not have anything to do necessarily. Well, I would say especially with OU's front. I mean, they're getting blocked. They are getting blocked. They're getting pushed off of the football. Everybody's blocking. So we'll go on to the next play. Second and about 8 right here. And so now we're kind of starting to open some things up just to taste because we have an understanding of what they're trying to do to us on defense. So you see that we've got the tight end that had started off over here. He's coming on over across the field in motion. What that's going to do is leave Brew McCoy backside one-on-one. So on defense, really hard to tell what the coverage is. I'll go through this a few times and show you several people that are open, a whole lot of different looks that we probably could have gone to, but they're going to blitz right here. And all these guys are coming. He's going to kind of come out here. But again, just for the first one, we're going to pay attention to this matchup down here at the bottom of the screen. Let me get rid of this. Boom. All right, so let's go ahead and let this thing roll out. So, boom. Okay, first and foremost, everything's picked up. Offensive line is doing a really nice job of picking up everything. Nico's got the time. Whenever he has the time, people are going to get open. Like we said, they can't tackle our guys. We're better athletes. We're bigger, stronger, faster, all that good stuff. Our jerseys look better. Our stadium's bigger. Our fans are better. Our field is better. I mean, everything, right? The whole nine. Okay, we are the better team whenever we just execute like this. So, right here, we see that the cornerback is coming up pretty hard on what he thinks is going to be some sort of a screen. This guy's kind of out of the way. He's way over the field. So look, this guy would be open here as well. Okay, so that's another option. That's a little bit of a tougher throw, but Nico can make those types of throws also. Going back to it, I don't know what kind of a coverage this is. We were able to probably confuse them on this. A couple of people are not in the right spots, but either way, man, great throw, great catch. Bruise a dog. We already know that getting down the field. Beautiful, beautiful work right here, getting us into that red zone. First and goal on this play is just going to be an inside zone run. And we are going to have Dane Davis kind of pull over to this side. And it looks like him and John Campbell actually end up getting this same guy. So somebody was probably off on this. But as far as, again, man, whenever any of our guys get their hands on their guys, we are winning that battle. What happens is number 10 is going to sneak through unblocked. And that's why I'm saying somebody was probably wrong up front and who they were supposed to be picking up. But we'll go ahead and let this thing roll so that you can see what happens. So, boom. Like I said, I mean, you can tell the people who are getting their hands on folks, they are winning. So, Deshaun Bishop at this point looks like he's got a little bit of a, he's got some lanes to actually run through, is how it looks. But 10 is hiding in there. He's going to kind of go at his ankles. But that's a great job, I feel like, by Bishop of keeping his feet going and falling forward and getting us anything at all out of that play, just getting us some positive yardage. So we had to have those types of things cleaned up, and I don't know who was wrong on this. It's hard for me to say, but it does look like somebody just missed a guy on this, and you see we're still fighting. I mean, look at that, it's still pushing people around and all that. It's getting chippy down there. That's what this offensive line does. They are bullies. Second and goal right here, y'all, and this is just going to be a back shoulder throw right here to Chris Brazzell. So let's go and let this thing roll. All right. So again, Nico's got plenty of time. Everything is picked up. But I would say, at first I thought, okay, this might be on Chris Brazzell, but the throw is probably a little bit too far to the inside. I think that Nico could have put this a little bit behind Brazzell. But you would also like to see Brazzell kind of fight a little bit harder for the correct body position here. He doesn't, he's not being as physical as he could be here. So it's just, these are some more learning points for sure, just for everybody, and I think that it might show it from a different angle. Yeah, and we can see it again from this angle. Obviously, we're going to be watching Chris Brazzell right here. So watch this as it goes. Okay, so boom, right? If you put this more to his back shoulder or, somewhere like his back hip, then that would be a much more catchable football for Brazzell. So it was not thrown in the best spot, but you still want to see Brazzell compete a little bit more to fight to get to that football on that play. Then again, yeah, it was thrown a little bit too far up the field. Third and goal, and what we're going to have is a little bit of pressure that's going to be coming from Dane Davis's guy right here off of the edge. And he kind of like pushes it to the inside, and Nico's going to have to kind of step up into the pocket. They've also got Stutzman here still trying to spot Nico, and they're going to be playing like brackets coverage with all these guys. So, so they've definitely got some numbers. I believe he's going to come out this way. He's going to come up this way, and then he kind of comes in right here. He's coming right there. So no one gets open on this just because they've got too many people in coverage. And, Dane Davis just does not give us enough time. But what you love to see here is Nico, making a play and then just kind of taking care of the football. Also, obviously, that's always good. And then just lowering his daggum shoulder. He's not just going to take a hit whenever he knows it's coming. That's that warrior mentality. And then you also see 40, the guy who really got the pressure right here. You're going to see him just kind of like laying around. I think that he loses his footing on their terrible field. and he just kind of like lays here. So I hope that he's okay. You know what I mean? But they got to get that field together. I mean, that's somebody needs to come out and inspect fields prior to these games. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that it is playable because this is ridiculous. But anyway, that is going to be third down right there for that series. So we're gonna have to kick the field goal. And actually, I'm gonna show it to y'all again from this angle just so that we can see how the field looks with the wide receivers and all that. I mean, you can see covered up here. He's got two covering him. He's covered up there. Covered up here, covered up there. Right. It's two people right right on both sides of him. So I mean, there was just nowhere for Nico to go with that football at all. Now he is saying, well, I'm gonna try to make it happen with my feet, but I think the Oklahoma's defense does a good job just of kind of, swarming to just keep him out of the end zone. So anyway, that's going to be it for that series. First and 15 to start this series off after a false start penalty. And this is going to be another RPO. Now, what we're going to do here is we are going to show that same, kind of like gap scheme sort of a look. And we will see that OU's defense is kind of doing the same thing where they're biting up heavy onto the run. So this is just, trying to see how are they still responding to some of these looks that we're doing up front. But this is ultimately just going to be like a quick little screen to Squirrel White. We're going to have Brew McCoy as the lead blocker. And we told you before that these quick screens have been there as long as we could get it blocked on the outside. And we all know that Brew's going to be able to block. It does not take much. Just give us a little bit of blocking, which is what Brew does. And Squirrel is able to get what, 8-9 yards on this. Okay, so that's how things can go whenever we execute the way that we're supposed to on the outside. So again, man, you're seeing that we're doing a good job of holding up front. And of course, we should be able to because this is a really, really quick throw. But even still, no one is within like 5 yards of Nico on this play. So it's not that, I mean, we weren't holding up well up front. That's not the problem by any means. So I like that play right there on first and 15. Actually, that was a lot more than 8 or 9. That was about 14 yards. Second and 1 on this play. And this is how you know the coach Heupel knows how to coach. He saw the same thing that we talked about with these safeties biting up whenever they see that run action. They're going to see that run action. And guess who's going to be wide open right behind him? Dante Thornton. So we're going to just kind of, spread him out a little bit by moving him Squirrel White on out, on a little motion towards the sideline, spread things out. And boom, look at how beautiful this pocket is. We have everything picked up. The pocket is very, very clean. Nico's got all day to throw the football. And whenever you give him time, this is what he can do. And Dante Thornton, y'all, is 6'5", about 220 pounds, and he runs 24 miles an hour. This is what we've got so many guys like this. You cannot stop us on the outside. You just can't. So this is something that we could have gone back to all day long. We could have just literally, all right, so this is either going to be a run play or we're going to pass the ball straight down the middle, and y'all can't stop. We could have done this every single play, and they would have nothing to stop it. Something was going to work. This is why this team is so dangerous. This is what I'm talking about. With OU's defense, yeah, I mean, they had a good little game plan and all that, but Coach Heupel just, for whatever reason, he didn't go back to this type of stuff that was there for the entire game. So beautiful, beautiful job. That's a gorgeous throw. And I'm just proud of these guys, man. Beautiful work. And we're gonna see it again from this angle just because I want for y'all to be able to see everything. I love these end zone views. So of course you will see all of their safeties biting up on this run. And I think that right here, Holden Stays does a really nice job coming on over, making sure that Spraggs is good, coming on over here to the outside, making sure that the edge is taken care of. You've also got DeSamp in here just in case that doesn't go well. Okay, and they're kind of circling all that stuff as well. So boom, right? They're gonna come back through. All right, so boom, right? You see that the pocket is very clean. You see that the middle of the field is wide open. The safeties are way up here. I don't know why they thought that they could do this. And I mean, teams will stop doing it as we continue to do this. If you come up like this and now you're seeing, uh-oh, it is a pass, and now they're backing up. It's too late, dude. It is way too late because look at all that grass. I mean, we're throwing it way over y'all's heads, and that is a perfect pass. Gosh, that's gorgeous. So great, great job. Like I said, man, we could have been doing this all day long. Do you think that these guys can stick with us? Come on, stop it. There's nobody in the country that can stick with our wide receivers. I promise you that. So whole lot of success and great things coming up for our volunteers. And I expect dominance. I expect dominance for the rest of this year. We will have some tough games. This is the end of the first quarter, but I expect for us to be able to connect on several plays like this. But thank y'all so much for being members of this channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.